park is all that same material. And so what we're working with a solar investor through Panda Energy, and what they're going to be doing is putting a massive, one of the largest solar displays in the Mid-Atlantic states, which is going to be put in place there. So it'll be all solar to the south. Then there'll be the current natural gas burning plant there, and then once the current plant is out of the way, there'll be another 15 acres or so for possible economic development at that site. Then in the northern end, what they're proposing is a hydroponic growing operation and something in the wood processing industry, which makes perfect sense. You know, you think about this area, what are our two big manufacturing industries? Our agriculture, or producing industries, goods producing, are agriculture and wood products. So that's what we're going to be working on to the northern end. Also, there's a proposal to put a second natural gas burning plant at that site. And you think to yourself, well, why would you put two power plants at the exact same site? Well, if you ever have a chance to spend some time at that, down at the power plant, or if you happen to fly over, look down at it, and it looks like a spider's web of electric transmission lines going every which direction. That is essentially the crossroads of the PJM grid, the power grid that powers all of this area, the Middle Atlantic and New England. So it makes perfect sense to have another plant there. The beauty of having both the solar array as well as the natural gas burning plants is it will create what's called non-interruptible electricity. And that's very, very interesting to a couple of different firms. And we're currently working with a data processing company out of Canada who's looking to invest, once that power plant comes down, they're going to be probably, we'll see how it goes. I'm not making any announcements today, but what they're looking at is putting a data center there. This data center, and think about where it's located along the Susquehanna River, behind that chain link fence. This data center will be where the Bitcoin is stored. You think about, you know, I don't know if you're able to wrap your head around this notion of Bitcoin, you know, a currency that has nothing you can touch. It just all it has is value. Well, all it has is value as long as you have electricity. If you lose power to the data center that's maintaining the Bitcoin, all of a sudden billions, trillions of dollars disappear overnight. So that's what we're working on there. As far as, you might ask, well, how's it going with the wood products company? How's it going with the hydroponic grower, the agriculture? I'm happy to say that very soon we'll be having the grand opening of a marijuana growing operation. It's about 90% complete on that site. We actually have built it. They have their own dedicated street into this growing operation. You know, all of my agriculture business leader friends tell me, Bob, marijuana is agriculture, get over it. All right, I got it. Okay, I'll get over it. But it just seems a little funny to me, so that's what we're ending up with. But that's the Greater Susquehanna Valley Energy Park. By the way, the folks that are behind the Greater Susquehanna Valley Energy Park, the folks that own the current Sunbury Generation Company, Arcova is their economic development organization, are the exact same people who did the Philadelphia shipyards. So they know of what they speak. They did a very, very nice job at the naval shipyards down in Philly. I don't expect that we're going to be creating 50,000 jobs or attracting Amazon or anything like that, but it's an exciting opportunity for us. Next is, this was when it was supposed to be a video, and it's about Bright Farms. Have any of you driven out 522 west of Terry has? Well, if you're out and about and you want to go take a look at something really interesting, this company Bright Farms looked around several states, Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, and they decided to come to the Greater Susquehanna Valley to build this very large lettuce growing operation. If you're not familiar with Bright Farms, it may ring a bell when you're in the fresh produce section of the Giant and now Wise's. It used to only be Giant, but now it's Giant and Wise's, or Wegmans, and you see those clear plastic boxes of arugula, or I'm particularly I like the Sunny Crunch That's the one I like a lot. I recommend the Sunny Crunch. But anyhow, that's what they're going to be growing at the Bright Farms. This is out on what we call the Pauling Station Industrial Park, just outside of Selinsgrove on 522. The chamber worked very closely with Bright Farms. Frankly, we thought they were going to end up at the power plant, because it sort of made sense to us that, oh, well, if it's a greenhouse and they need heat, maybe you can just take that steam that goes up in the air and do like a cogen type facility. Turned out that they were more interested in making their own power, because the problem with the power plant is it has to close down for 2 weeks every year. And and people want arugula all 52 weeks of the year. They don't want it just for 50 weeks. Why did they end up in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania? Is location, location, location. They chose that site because they need to be within basically 5 hours of all of their major markets, which would be Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, not Boston. They actually have a facility in Massachusetts, and then points west as well. So that's why they're here. They will be hiring 50 growers there. I'm sort of excited about Bright Farms because they use an apprenticeship program, and it's, you know, we've been looking into apprenticeships, and you know, what is old is new again. And we've started a pre-apprenticeship program, and I can tell you currently in the high schools, the VOAG departments are working closely with Bright Farms on pre-apprenticeships to move their students directly through there and into Bright Farms as the growers. This is strictly by coincidence, but the pace that they're going at right now in building this monster 12-acre greenhouse, the pace that they're going at, they will do the first cutting. That's what they call it, first cutting, probably of arugula. They'll be doing their first cutting. It's hydroponics. It's really a neat process. It's a series of rivers. That's what they call them, a series of rivers. And on top of these rivers float, it looks like styrofoam. It's not actually styrofoam, but it's some sort of something that floats. And they impregnate the styrofoam with seeds. And about every 6 hours or so, so it's like growing mushrooms. You know, you have to pick them all the time once they get started. But the first cutting looks like it's going to be on December 31st. So I'm working with them to see if we can do an arugula drop in Penn Township on December 31st, and you'll all be invited to the arugula drop ceremonial. And by the way, the first cutting, they always like to do a ceremony. They like to do something for the public, and then and then promote their product, of course. So I'll be back to you on that if that works out. But it'll probably be sometime between Christmas and New Year's will be the first cutting. Next is federal opportunity zones. Has anyone heard about these? You probably know of Keystone Opportunity. So yeah. Okay. So in the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017, the one we hear a lot about these days, there was embedded in there, deep into it, was something called federal opportunity zones. And what federal opportunity zones were, they gave the responsibility to the governors of all the states and territories to identify census tracts within their state where they could, where there had been a historic lack of investment, a lack of or an out investment by banks, by folks that are looking to invest in, particularly in real estate. And what they then once those opportunity zones were set up, now what's happening is we're doing a series of meetings in the greater Susquehanna Valley. It turns out we have 3 opportunity zones. And by the way, if you look at Pennsylvania here, you'll notice that actually this dot should be up here in Erie, but you'll notice that we got a lot for the opportunity zones in Pennsylvania. We got 3 of them out of 5, and the